Hi, in this lecture, I will talk about the accumulator. This is probably one of the most commonly used pattern in programming. How do you add, say, add bunch of number, find the sum of the first n number, 1 plus 2 plus 3 all the way to n? You cannot add all the number all at once, and we have seen this before. We need loops because we add all these number repeatedly. Whenever you see repetitive action, you need a loop to do that. The first number you add is 1, but in the beginning the sum is 0. Think about the total or the sum is 0 in the beginning. So I'm just adding the sum to 1. So in the beginning the sum is 0. And then later on I do sum equal to, say, sum plus 1, which in this case equal to 1. And then you keep adding number. Now the running sum plus 2 becomes 3. The running sum 3 plus 3 becomes 6. The running sum 6 plus 4 is 10, and so forth. And the sum or the total is accumulated. That's why we call this accumulator pattern. And here is a function to do the accumulator. In the accumulator, you have to initialize your running total to 0. And I have a loop to add 1 to n plus 1. Why I need n plus 1? So if I want to add number between, say, 1 plus 2 plus dot 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 plus 10 all the way to 10, where n is equal to 10, because a range does not include the end number, I need to add one higher to including 10. And running total plus equal I. Do you recall what the plus equal mean? Plus equal really mean running total is equal to running running total is equal to running total plus I. This is what this plus equal mean. And after this loop complete, I have the total, and then I will return the data. Don't forget to return the data. What is wrong with this program, or what is wrong with this function? Well, the running total is not initialized, so I cannot add something to running total when running total had not been initialized. So you say if you place the running total in the wrong place, like inside the loop, this program will only return n at the end. Say if you sum them all 10, if you pass in 10, it will return 10, not 55. Why is that? Well, if you look at the sequence of statement, your running total always get initialized inside the function. So last thing you would do is add in the I, which is 10 at the end. If you call the sum them all and pass in 10. And what is wrong here? What is wrong when you have the return statement inside the function? What would this function return? Well, this function will return 1. Why? Because the loop will only execute one time. After you add 1 to the running total, you return the running total without executing another iteration. So let's write a function called average. Average a list. We take one parameter, a list. The function returns the average value in the list. For example, if the list is 10, 20, 30, 40, list is passed to the average function, then it returns 25. Use the accumulator pattern. How do you find average? Let me ask you guys something. How do you find the average? In order to find the average, what do you need? You need to know the total or the sum of the number and number of them, right? So to find the average, average is total divided by count. How many are in there? Oh, come on. So let's define a function called average that take a list. And I'm going to show you something here. I'm going to say path for this function. This will make the function syntactically correct, but doesn't do anything. And I can say write a call the function average and say pass in 10, 20, 30, 40, and run this program. I'm just looking for no error. Yet you see you have a none here because the function doesn't return anything yet. Now using the accumulator, let's find the total, the running total set to 0, and we have a list. We have seen before how to iterate a list for num in a list, and the accumulator set total equal to total plus num. I'm adding num, which is a loop variable that iterate 10, 20, 30, and 40 at a time. I mean, each time you will get the next number in the list, and then I return total divided by count. How do you find how many numbers are there? Well, you can also use the accumulator method. So every time you're going through a item in the list, you can increment the count by 1. I don't know how many items in the list, but as I iterate each item in the list, I can count them. And I can then calculate the average. So let's run this program and see what it returned. It returned 25. And this is one of the most common and powerful pattern you're going to write or see in programming, whether Python or any programming. We use this a lot to make sure you understand how to do the accumulator pattern. Write a function called length, which take one parameter called text. The function returns number of character in the text string. Use the accumulator pattern. Given what I just showed you earlier, can you write the function called length? Try it. I will reveal the answer during the lecture.